them occupy the last of the playoff places. They stand 8 league points better off. But on nights like this, it really is starting to look like win or bust for Preston. 13 draws already this season. That is a league high, and a stat they would rather not have against their name. I guess the key figures for Oxford United: 17 league defeats against 7 wins, and a draw tonight for them will not do too much to lift them.
Thank you, Jules. Good evening, everyone. Let's get the championship weekend started, shall we? This is a meeting of two teams very much in need of points to fulfil their respective ambitions.
Oxford, the only one of the bottom three,
on the rest of the division by kick-starting the biggest league. Preston North End must start winning if promotion is to be a possibility.
Sheffield Wednesday relegated off an insurmountable
victory would see them jump back to the relegation zone for the first
Leicester
time
City's future
in the year.
a lot briefer from the moment of their 6-point deduction. On the bright side for Oxford, a win tonight will bring them level with West Bromwich Albion, the team they beat last week, and they'll be right back in the argument
to try and G their side up, as indeed they did at the weekend, of course. A rare win for the U's, and how they would love to have back-to-back victories to celebrate, and a chance to leap up the championship table. Well, in terms of team news, Paul Heckingbottom freshens up his side in search of a winning formula. A change of personnel amid seemingly a rare change of system to a starting back four. Wing-backs Brad Potts and Andrea Vucevic drop out, as do Ali McCann and Daniel Jefferson. Jordan's Story and Thompson return, with Alfie Devine slotting in midfield and Milutin Osmajic coming in up top. Callum Lang has 6 goals in 9 appearances against Oxford. That's the most he's scored against any opponent in his senior career. Thierry Small returns to the bench after injury, and Andrew Hughes is a booking away from a 2-match ban. The task for Oxford tonight is to try and build on victory against West Brom last time out, their first league win since the back end of January. Unsurprisingly, perhaps, the starting 11 remains from that success, so Younes Konak starts successive Oxford games for the first time, joining keyman Cameron Brannigan in midfield. Jamie Donnelly bagged an assist last time out on his first start for the U's, a match in which top scorer Will Lancashire netted his first goal in 9 championship appearances. Jamie McDonnell is back in the squad after missing the last 2 games. Well, indeed, matchday team selection is often highly intriguing, particularly tonight for North End, Andy.
Yeah, the Preston drop-off in the past 2 months has seriously affected their playoff chances. Carrying more of a goal threat is key, and it sees Paul Heckingbottom play a back four tonight and an attacking quartet, including Callum Lang, who has a good scoring record against Oxford, and Milutin Osmajic, who scored 5 of his 6 championship goals here. So can they fire Preston to a much-needed win? And with the lowest possession in the championship this season, it's no surprise that Oxford are the only side to score more set-piece than open-play goals, including both in that crucial win against West Brom. With Cam Brannigan's pinpoint delivery and Will Lancashire the target, it'd be no surprise if these two, as they did against West Brom, combine again to give Oxford a win that would lift them out of the relegation zone. That would be a huge psychological boost for them.
Well, second season struggles have been apparent for Oxford United in the Championship, but last weekend's win has given them belief, as well as much needed points, in the battle for second tier survival. North End need the points tonight as well if they're to rekindle their promotion potential. Their dip in form was inevitable in many onlookers' eyes, but this is an opportunity to get back on an upward curve and to apply pressure to others. Both sets of players have had their final words of inspiration from their head coaches, and indeed final conversations between them. So let's see what they serve up for us.
Yeah, I do feel Oxford going to the game again, winning that last game. OK, it's only 2 wins in 10 under Matt Blooper, but winning that game has given them a massive lift. Preston, their form is really poor, but Paul Heckingbottom, he's been positive with his team selection tonight. Now it's down to the players to carry out that game plan and pick up 3 points. Both sides desperately need the win.
Andrew Kitchen is our man in the middle tonight, just checking everyone is where they should be. And it will be Preston to start us. This indeed is a battle between two sides who don't tend to have much of the ball. Oxford United have the lowest average possession in the Championship this season. Preston have the 4th lowest. So let's see who takes control and takes the points, if indeed anybody does. Gibson back to goalkeeper Cornell, who immediately is searching to get Preston on the front foot on this near side, which will be patrolled by Mrs. Hughes. And a couple of others who I think will dip in and out on this near side. Lewis Dobbin starting over on this side.
Yeah, I'm expecting both sides to go for it the first 10 minutes, really positive start, get the ball forward. So the attackers as often as possible put the opposition defence under pressure as quickly as they can.
Will Lancashire just dipping his head into that challenge there. I'm not sure there was too much contact. He felt he was caught by someone or something. Play waved on though, and Preston North End have it with Hughes. Searching for Thompson, who will patrol that midfield area along with captain Ben Whiteman.
Yeah, I think with Dobbin providing the width down his left-hand side for Preston. At times we might see Preston operate with a kind of a back three with Fear pushing forward from right back down that right-hand side to provide the width on that side.
Going to run away for an Oxford United ball. Mikael Helik across to collect for Sam Long to take. Now past 300 appearances for the club, which he talked with great pride this week. Forward by Hughes, looking to set Osmajic away, who's just gone a little early. The flag raised against him. Kieran Brown in close attendance just in case.
Yeah, I think it's very important when you play to that big physical focal point. Of course he has to stay on side, he has to secure the ball. When the ball's played into the big striker, Devine, Dobbin, Lang, they all have to go and join him, give him support.
He's had his controversial moments, of course, in a Preston North End shirt, but also very much carries a goal threat, which his side really needs at the moment. Lang rising for the header, it's pumped forward and Cornell is after it. Immediately looking to release Lewis Gibson. Straight away when receiving the ball, Preston are looking for that ball over the top just to see if it's on.
And of course by looking to play that forward ball, they're hoping the Oxford defence will kind of appreciate that and drop a little bit deeper. Then that creates space for the ball into feet. Their creative players to get on it and in pockets of space, make things happen from there.
Hughes for Dobbin. And it's a Preston ball, which Hughes is keen to get on with. Thompson. Hughes across for Whiteman, who will slot in to allow those fullbacks to kick on. Off here trying to do that down the right.
Ben Whiteman's such an important player for the functioning of this Preston team, whether they play with 3 centre-halves or 2. It's absolutely crucial that he plays that holding midfield position.
Preston so keen, of course, to grab all 3 points. They've drawn more games than any other side in the Championship this season. 13 ties in their matches to date. Just 1 win in 10 in all competitions now.
Once again with Preston there, playing from back to front very quickly, very accurately. It's a wonderful forward ball. It picked out. Callum Lang was able to control it. They just couldn't pick up the second ball, Preston. What it's doing, getting it will force Oxford to just take a step back towards their own penalty area and create some space in midfield for Preston.
So Brannigan will take. Looking for Helik, who's managed to steal in behind Preston North End here. And he's found the net too! Inside 5 minutes, a welcome boost to the Oxford United cause.
Well, he's just way too strong for Lewis Gibson. He steps up from the back, centre-half, steps to the edge of the penalty area. You know that Brannigan is going to try and pick him out. So when you're up against him, Lewis Gibson, you've got to know, you've got to stay goal side, you've got to be aggressive, you've got to be strong. He just basically runs through him. He doesn't foul him. Helic, he's just too strong for him, but you know what's coming here. Well, that ball is drilled towards the centre half. The starting position isn't good. He's alongside Helic. He's not goal side of him. He's never in control of the situation. No, it's not the cleanest strike at the end. The chest control is excellent, but the important thing is he keeps the strike, even though it's a poor one, on target. No surprise, the opening goal for Oxford has come from a set piece. It's rudimentary, it's defendable, but Gibson again, his positioning's all wrong. He gets out-muscled, and Oxford scored a precious opening goal.
Set-piece success once again for Oxford United. Mikael Helic with not the cleanest of strikes, but it helped him along the way. His first goal for club or country this season. Some great angles of that goal. They're almost a return to player cam of the 90s. Brown trying to flick that one away. It's still there for Lang. That could be a huge moment for Oxford United right at the start of this championship weekend, because if it stays this way, they're out of the bottom three ahead of matches tomorrow for West Bromwich Albion and Leicester City. But of course, there could always be a sting in the tail with Preston North End around, and there is a lot of time left.
Exactly that. What Oxford have to do now is keep playing as if it's 0-0, look for the second goal. They can't sit back and try to hold out. Of course, psychologically, it would be a huge boost getting out of the relegation zone, but there's such a long way to go here. They've got to still be positive.
And the positives for Oxford United, if they were to win tonight, is that the teams who they would leapfrog, Leicester City, go to Ipswich Town tomorrow. West Bromwich Albion are at Sheffield United. On paper, two really tough games for the other two sides, but I'm sure Matt Bloomfield will be saying to himself and to those around him, don't get carried away. Only 7 minutes in to a long weekend. Ball taken off the toes of Donnelly. Long rekindles the attack. Helped out by Mills. Nicely done by Dobbin. Very nicely done indeed. And it took the stretching Mikael Helic to stop him.
It's just a slightly heavy touch right at the end there. Positive play, just overruns the ball.
Oxford United full of confidence, understandably, after that opening and indeed the win last time out against the Baggies. Konak and Brannigan together.
Yeah, just going back to the goal, see how poor the defending was, and Helic could actually take the ball down. He had that much space to operate in. You know, normally in that position you think you've got to take it first time because you're under pressure. The keeper's maybe stepping onto you, but there was just so much time and space for him. It was just so poor defensively. Credit Helic for doing his job, not fouling his man, and then taking the chance.
And funnily enough, it's one of those chances, isn't it? If he'd hit it really sweetly, it might have been saved, but hitting it into the ground, scuffing it if you like, actually might well have sealed the deal. Or it might have been part of the plan, of course. Oxford United throw. Right in the mix again for Mills, who tried to turn.
A second longer just to assess the situation, because, you know, solid contact on target. There'll be no chance for the keeper. Not being picked up, it's just completely mistimed. He's underneath it, not over and above it. What an opportunity for Oxford to make it two. side of your man. There's no way Callum Lang was going to get to the ball ahead of Curry.
Thompson's ball. Little touch from Dobbin. Might have struck his hand there. Spotted by some in yellow, but not the man in the middle. Thompson for Hughes. Moved on to Gibson and then to Whiteman. Off here. Whiteman to spin it in towards offside. And the Preston response is instant. Just what they needed to settle themselves down.
It's a magnificent goal. The ball in from Wyman. The technique, the quality, outstanding. But a goal scorer, what you have to do is anticipate good delivery, get in between defenders, hope the defenders ball watch. And that's exactly what happens here. They're patient. They don't force it forward, they just keep the ball moving, they penned Oxford in. But when the ball is rolled back, that whip delivery is outstanding. Osmaic, look at his position, onside, in between the two centre-halves who are both ball watching. They're not anticipating the quality delivery, Osmaic is. And it's just about a solid contact. Doesn't try and be too glamorous with the finish, just get a solid contact, head it towards one of the posts, and you score. But the ball in from Whiteman is a beauty.
A peach of a cross and an emphatic finish. And how ironic that Kieran Brown, who got too much on a header at one end minutes ago, couldn't get anything on one at the other end to deny Preston.
Just looking at the positions there of Hellick and Brown, the two Oxford centre-halves. You know, don't worry about the ball. They've got to kind of close Osmaic down. They've got to both get close to him. Don't worry about where the ball's going to end up. Make sure it's virtually impossible for the striker to get a clean, solid header on it because you close the gap and you kind of like a pincer movement, just really make it difficult for him. This is too much space. Hellick actually doesn't appreciate at all where he should be. He's actually ahead of the ball. Brown is watching the ball. He goes over his head. It's just poor from the centre-halves.
6.5 minutes between the two goals. Tell you what, we might have a ding-dong battle on our hands tonight. Oxford United want their lead back. Will Lancashire frustrated he didn't get the ball in the middle. Paul Heckingbottom alluded to the need to win tonight by saying draws are no good really, we need to win games now, which would suggest that both the sides in their respective predicaments might have a bit more of a gung-ho attitude.
Yeah, just 1 win in 9 for Preston, so win tonight takes them 5 points off the top 6, so I think that's why he changed the shape of the team and was more aggressive in an attacking sense, and it's got them back in the game.
And they're looking for Osmaic again, this time gathered in by Jamie Cummings.
But look at the difference there, look where the centre-halves are when that cross comes in, how difficult it is for Osmaic to get a solid header in. They've done the right thing here, Hellick's round on the cover, he's touch tight with his man. It's made it more difficult for the centre-halves, he's been closed down. Again, you can't get a good, solid, clean header in on the cross. That's what he should have done for the goal.
Now, just when Oxford United were hoping to settle into their lead, Preston North End wipe it out.
There's that hammer blow, that Kieran Brown chance, could have made it 2-0. There's a double whammy, Preston go up the other end and get the equaliser, so again Brown and Oxford will be feeling sorry for themselves, have to clear their heads and go again.
Yeah, crazy to think, just under 2 minutes between the chance missed at one end and the goal at the other, 1 minute 59 seconds to be precise. And it goes towards Lancashire, who had time to take it down, and Donnelly follows up. And Preston North End defensively were all at sea.
I think both sides defensively, especially from crosses, are having so many problems. But again, Cam Brannigan, this delivery is magnificent. Lancashire has, again, so much time and space. Normally you take that first time, but he's not closed down, so that's why he takes the touch. But everything gets closed down, there's white shirts everywhere. You see what Donnelly's looking to do? Pass it into the top corner. Just slightly off balance when he strikes it, but another brilliant opportunity for Oxford.
Oh, right old scrap going on for the ball here. As Majic steps in to help out Lang, who's looking for Devine. Very much a you attack, we attack kind of start.
It's great to see both sides playing with 4-4-2, getting that ball forward. They're not just lumping it forward, there's quality forward balls, quality crosses, set pieces. Teams looking to get the ball in the opposition box and put them under pressure.
Osmajic. Lang just manages to teeter along the line and keep it in.
It's a game that Preston, of course, are dominating in terms of possession, but you can still the huge threat that Oxford have. And they've scored, they've had two great opportunities with Brown and Lancashire as well. They could, in theory, be 3-1 up.
9 shots, 4 on target. They've only played 15 minutes. Feels like one of those nights. On the counter now, Stanley Mills accelerating away. Whiteman in his way, and Mills goes on. And that was a golden chance for an Oxford second, once again.
Yeah, with the players Oxford have, the counter-attack is always on. Usually this is how they have to play, because they don't have a lot of the ball. But I mentioned Ben Whiteman, his importance to the way this team functions. Both going forward, we saw that with his cross for the goal. But his role here, his back is an extra defender. He's just slowing Mills down, making it more difficult for him. Blocks the target as well. So Whiteman does such a good job here in making it difficult for Mills to get into the penalty area and get a clear side to goal.
2 goals already, this could be anything. Both sides relishing a bit of freedom to attack. All that both sides have needed so far is an extra bit on the finishes. Ben Harris, stopped by Ophir. It's a good point you made though, there is pace aplenty in these two sides. We've got potential match winners, we've got trickery. There's a lot for the defenders to deal with, and there's a lot for the defenders to enjoy when they go at the other end potentially. Throw towards Brown. Cleared as far as Long.
There's a lot of pacey direct runners in both sides, so the counter-attack for both teams could be really effective. So the team that's in possession, you've got to be careful. If you commit too many bodies up the pitch and you give the ball away, you're vulnerable to that counter-attack.
Concentration required here for the hosts. And it goes towards Hellick. Nice little touch, and then the spin from Lancashire just couldn't get the purchase on it that he required.
Yeah, so what he's trying to do, just hold off his man and spin and shoot. Again, Oxford doing the right thing. It's not glamorous, but there's open play, set pieces, long throws, get the ball into the box, because Preston look nervous when that ball is in their penalty area.
Here's Thompson. Gibson for the returning Jordan Story. Andrew Hughes happy to skip forward here. Once again, Osmajic, the platform from which they build. Dobbin looking to attack, Long any which way, looking to get it clear.
It's a magnificent centre forward play there from Osmajic. The ball into him wasn't a great one. He managed to take it down, zip the ball out wide, and then he did the right thing. He got into a goal-scoring position. Sadly for Preston, the cross didn't end up with him in front of goal, but positive place, really strong start from Osmajic.
He looks in the mood tonight. As indeed do both these sides in an attacking sense. Osmajic once again trying to prod it through towards Thompson. Solid defending from Adel Ophir.
Yeah, Ophir did well there, because that talks about the counter-attack he was on there with Peter Harris, but he sprinted back into a good defensive position there, Ophir, and there was no way that Peter Harris was going to get beyond him.
Ophir. Eventually back towards Whiteman. Story. And the stretch was divine. Thompson. to both sides because of almost a feeling of anything's possible tonight.
I think both sides look great on the ball going forward. It's just defensively both look vulnerable.
Dobbin skipping past Long. Mills had to recover. Whiteman. Nice from Devine, and then Osmajic was cut down to size by Kieran Brown, and a yellow card's on its way here.
Yeah, he just goes straight through the centre forward. He'll be saying, well, I played the ball, but yes, he went through the man to get to the ball. Again, it's good centre forward play from Osmajic because he's getting himself in between the ball and the defender, encouraging the defender to slide in and try and win it, and give the free kick away in a promising position for Preston. Sometimes if you can't win the ball, Kieran Brown, just stay on your feet. Force Osmajic to play the ball sideways or backwards. Don't try and win it. Give a free kick away in a dangerous area. There's that trailing leg, that's the follow through. It's that left leg that comes through and takes Osmajic out.
A facial expression of incredulity from Kieran Brown, but a pretty routine yellow card from Andrew Kitchen's point of view. A fifth for Brown, which of course doesn't now bring a suspension. It's 10 you need to hit to be put on the naughty step.
Well, it's a long way out. It's incredibly tempting to take the strike on from here, but the distance from goal, to get the accuracy, the power, surely the sensible thing would be to maybe clip that ball towards the far post and try and get the second ball, but looks as if they're shaping up to shoot here, Preston.
Well, Thompson's left it alone. Might be a divine touch to Callum Lang. Might just be a regular touch to Callum Lang, of course, as well. Let's see. Lang's gone for it.
You can see he's such a long way out. It's easy for the goalkeeper. He just trots along his goal line and catches it really comfortably. Needs to be close to the penalty area to score from there.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Will Lancashire back to Mills. Brown lets it roll for Brannigan. Hughes with an important touch at the cost of a corner.
Brannigan's range of passing is outstanding from open play, from set plays in particular. Pinpoint accuracy. He's such a wonderful servant for Oxford as well. I'm surprised in many ways he's still there, because I'm sure many clubs would have taken him.
Yeah, over 350 games for them. Joining from his first club, Liverpool, back in January of 2018. Corner swept in by Donnelly. Cornell had to try and be strong.
I think it's actually his own player that gets in his way. Lack of communication there nearly proved costly for them.
No messing about from Jack Curry.
It seemed a corner the keeper could just catch, but because he's gone with his teammates standing in front of him, he's just giving him a shout and caught that and get into a right mess. It's Whiteman and the goalkeeper that don't communicate.
Thompson. Now Gibson. Dobbins for Hughes. Whiteman. Dobbin went a little too soon there. Just straying offside.
The thing that's impressed me with Preston, yes, they're dominating the ball, they're making more passes than Oxford. It's where they're getting their ball to. It's into that final third. It's the most dangerous area on the pitch. Don't just play on the halfway line with a lot of possession. Get it forward into advanced areas. Try and create opportunities for that attacking quartet that you've got. And getting the ball into the right areas more than Oxford.
Yeah, Preston have made the same number of passes in the final third as Oxford have in total so far. Shows the attacking intent, the aggressive nature of the start. But they're vulnerable at the back. As one ball can prove, Will Lancashire not far away from that.
Both sides are really struggling with those longer forward balls. A lot of defences these days don't deal with that kind of forward delivery. It's normally into feet and then you're defending goal side of your man. But when you're getting turned around like that, it's not comfortable, but both sides looking to play from back to front pretty effectively.
Hughes for Osmajic. Drops at the feet of Devine. Oxford United well stocked at the back here. Ophir. Story couldn't dig it out from under his feet and now has to scurry back into his default setting. He feels like this is a big night for quality to make a difference, but also composure as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be an open game with both sides really giving it a go, getting the ball into the opposition penalty area. On lots and lots of occasions it is about that, being clinical when those opportunities come along.
Helic just caught by Osmajic, who I think knew it had to be a foul given against him, but was frustrated at how it came about. Forward by Cumming. But Harris up against Ophir. And here comes the fullback. That's how to play. Hughes for Thompson. Cornell. Ophir. Trying to find that half a yard against Curry. Whiteman had to just quicken his step there. Mills to clear for Lancashire. That kind of moment when the game goes a bit messy and scrappy and the fans respond by saying, come on, we can do something here. Both sides have reason to be positive and to perhaps fear the worst. Strange sort of game. Whiteman, Dobbin, casually taken into his stride.
He's a really dangerous wide player, Lewis Dobbin, so no surprise that Mills is getting back. He's helping out long. 2 against 1, defensively at times for Oxford. You have to do that when you're up against a tricky winger.
Jordan Story, half an hour in.
It's an entertaining opening half an hour or so, but it's vitally important. The game is settling into a pattern where Oxford are sitting in their own half of Preston. They've got to keep the tempo up, they've got to tip that ball around, move Oxford around to break them down.
Here's Lang. Curry in his way. Lang across towards Hughes, and Mills wasn't sure.
Yeah, there's been a picture of the game, plenty of width, plenty of crosses going into the box. Mills, it's diligent work defensively, getting back, helping out. Ball's on the other side. There's a wide midfielder. You've got to get back. You've got to track the left back's run. He does that. And he can't duck underneath it. Has to deal with it.
Everybody back here for Oxford United. And there's a fair bit of tomfoolery going on in the middle.
That's one word for it.
Andrew Kitchen laying the law down a little. It's a hot topic, isn't it, at the moment, this grappling from set plays. Corner well dealt with by Donnelly. Dobbin firing it in. And Cameron Brannigan went tumbling.
There's a different type of cross to deal with. He's kind of fired that in. Rather whip with your instep, he's kind of drilled it. Makes it more difficult for Lancashire to head the ball back up the pitch.
Well, going back to the manhandling in the box, these early set pieces, some are trying to see what they can get away with, and you can't get away with a corner like that.
So frustrating. You know, you work so hard on the training ground trying to get that combination of decent delivery, good attacking movement, and then you just clip the ball into the goalkeeper's hands. It's such a waste.
Donnelly beaten to it by Gibson, and out it bounces off Mills. Dobbin wanted to wait for it. Long was unfortunate, having done the hard bit.
Yeah, beaten by the bobble.
Here's Gibson. Whiteman. Story. Adele off here. Whiteman. Dobbin the clear target there, but Sam Long winning out. Nicely taken into his stride by Dobbin, who's got options here. But the ball didn't roll the way he wanted it to.
He's so unselfish. I think if he has that opportunity again, he maybe shoots himself, because the space was there for him to get a shot away. The way he makes it happen, the way he turns and he takes the ball with him, the one flowing movement was brilliant. He's been really lively.
Forward by Cumming. Towards Lancashire, who was caught between two and maybe caught by both. Preston North End tying each other in knots there as Jordan Story recovers. Brannigan tucking it in for Mills. Long trying to stick tight to Dobbin, who found a way out for Devine. The battle between Whiteman and Hellick. The ball goes North End's way. And Jamie Cumming has hit the deck here.
Well, just one of those tactical injuries where you just maybe give the coach a chance to speak to the players, or is he genuinely got a problem? We'll see.
Well, certainly Matt Bloomfield and Oxford United wouldn't want him to have an issue because of the 82 championship games since promotion. He's started 81 of them, including tonight. Chance a moment to go for Lewis Dobbin.
It's brilliant play, because normally you kind of take a touch, then think about turning, but he actually touches and turns in one. It's a brilliant flowing movement. It opens up nicely for him, and he's really unselfish. If he's going to play the pass, he needs to play it further wide. He's got two players to his right. Goes for the first one, should have been maybe going further out to his right, but in a position like that, edge of the box, just put your laces through it and take the shot on.
Some might say not the right pass or not well enough hit. He looked mournfully at the pitch after letting go of the ball.
I think you've got to give the players a lot of credit. They're trying to play, flowing football. At times they're getting crossed in, at times they're keeping it on the floor. But the surface here at Deepdale, it's been a problem for some time. It's really patchy. It's not easy for the players to know what the ball's going to do. So credit them for really trying to make this an attractive game on a difficult surface.
Well, Jamie Cummings seems okay.
You see this a lot, though. Again, presuming he did have some kind of injury, but again, the goalkeepers are going to continue to do this, and it has happened in the past where they go down and kind of feign a bit of an injury. I'm not saying that was the case here, but I think maybe the referees and stuff have to have a look at this and say, if this keeps happening, it's like a tactical timeout, isn't it? Again, using an injury to kind of mask that. So maybe they have to look at that. But again, you've got to err on the side of caution and presume that the player is injured. You've got to deal with that first.
Here's Hughes. Off here. Up towards Osmajic. Brown on the end of that.
Again, it's a bit more direct. It's a forward ball in behind a centre-half, forcing them to do a lot of defending and put the ball out for a throw-in. It's getting Preston up the pitch.
Hughes back to Cornell. Gibson. Oxford United trying to pen Preston in here. Thompson has to be careful. Cornell likewise. Taken down.
Here the Preston fans, they're kind of groaning. They want their team to play forward a little bit earlier, just maybe overplaying on a patchy surface in their own half. It is risky.
Cameron Brannigan over the ball here.
Interesting to see the Stories actually picked up Hellick from this free kick.
Delivery once again, putting Oxford United in business, but it's dealt with defensively.
That's good defensive head. I think it's Ben Whiteman. Once again, though, it's a really difficult ball to defend. That quality from Brannigan, so difficult to defend.
There they go again. Man-handling at either end. Whiteman's header clear. Konak all the way back towards Curry, who goes all the way back to Cumming. Towards Hellick. Dobbin. Creating space beautifully at the moment. And the only way to stop him is to grab him.
You can see what Sam Long is trying to do. It's a good one-on-one battle. Long's trying to get as tight as possible to Dobbin, but he manipulates that ball so quickly. Has great balance. He can go right or left. He's quick when he gets that ball out of his feet as well. So defensively, whether you're a fullback or a centre-half, it's very hard to slow down and stop.
Here he goes again. Lewis Dobbin, watched closely this time by Milesford Harris. Whiteman forward, on from Story. Lovely touch for Lang, who shied away from the shot, which is unusual, particularly against Oxford United.
I think the angle is against him. I think Osmajic is the one saying, just cross it first time, don't take a touch, don't wait. It's a clever little flick round the corner. You see Osmajic is in space at the far post, just dink it. It's a side foot volley to the far post, just waits a little bit too long.
Corner swept in towards Devine, who found himself all alone. And they'll go again from the other side.
Well, it's an incredibly difficult header. It's an away swinger. You're a long way from the target, so you're just trying to maybe just turn this ball goalwards. Not maybe anticipating scoring yourself, but a teammate could possibly turn it home for you. That's a difficult chance when you consider how far away from goal he is and the ball's moving away from the target.
Swirled in by Dobbin, dealt with by Brown. Lovely hit back into the mix, and then chaos. And Oxford United delighted to hack it away.
I think it's Lancashire who has a really important role defensively to play. I'm sure he gets the block in from Whiteman, who thinks he's probably going to score with a side-foot volley. Head in hand time for him, but it's down to the centre forward getting back and blocking the shot.
But it's all got a little bit risky at the back for Preston North End here. Donnelly, Lancashire, loads of room. Had a huge goalkeeper to beat, which he couldn't.
His first touch is dreadful. The keeper does well, don't get me wrong, he's out quickly. But the ball gets away from him. Great pass from Donnelly, great vision. Lancashire keep that ball close and shoot. It gets away from him. And the keeper can then smother. I mentioned it earlier, trying to play out from the back on a dodgy surface. It is incredibly risky. Oxford are pressing you. And the ball is given away fairly cheaply here, playing across your defence. That's a no-no, but this pass from Donnelly is a beauty. But Lancashire, watch his touch. That is so poor. He kind of shows the goalkeeper what he's looking to do, doesn't keep the ball close, and the keeper pounces. Cornell does really well, and that first touch is taken. And another golden chance for Oxford to score.
There's Thompson for Hughes. Last few minutes of a frenetic first half.
It's a game that Preston have dominated in terms of possession and kind of where they've had the ball, but Oxford, the chances they've had to be ahead is a real worry, because in the second half of games in the Championship they really do struggle, so they need really to take a lead into half-time.
Hughes to throw. Back for Thompson. And it goes again. Up and away once again. Dobbin. Bending it into the box. It wasn't comfortable for Curry.
Again, it's a rather unorthodox cross from Lewis Dobbin. Doing what defenders would expect. The ball was wobbling all over the place.
Play just stopped there for a moment because there was a second ball on the line while there was one in the player's hands. The perils of a multi-ball system. Free kick goes the way of Oxford United, which just relieves that pressure. Let's just remind you there's a plethora of possibilities in terms of Championship viewing over the course of the weekend. Blackburn Rovers against Portsmouth tomorrow from 11 AM. Sky Sports Football for that. 12:25 Hull against Millwall. That's on Sky Sports Plus, one of the half-past midday kickoffs. And on Sunday at 4, we're at Queen's Park Rangers taking on Middlesbrough. Sky Sports Football for that. And the Players' Championship. Don't forget that. Thursday to Sunday, Rory McIlroy defending. Sky Sports Golf for that. With a better green surface, I would suspect, than we're on tonight. Replace the divots.
I think it puts the run a bit truer, wouldn't it?
Preston North End free kick. There won't be too much time for too much more, you would think, albeit the all-important board will be raised in a moment.
It's been a hugely entertaining first half, though. Both sides have really gone for it, but I think Matt Bloomfield will be the most disappointed. Less possession, yes, but chances for Brown, Donnelly, Lancashire. He'll be feeling they should be ahead, even though Preston have had the bulk of this first half.
3 minutes to add.
Kick.
Oxford United looking to hold a strong line, which is being disrupted by Preston a little. Hellick away. Calm touch from Donnelly. He wants it back.
For the first half, so I talked about Preston again dominating possession, but having possession doesn't necessarily give you the lead or win your games. Just look at Oxford in terms of the amount of possession they've had, but look at their expected goals, the quality of the chances they created, much higher than a team that have dominated the ball.
Preston North End grab possession off Oxford United here. Whiteman moves it on. Fair few attacking options forward. Thompson can hit them. Connacht was well aware of the threat there.
I think closing in on half-time and the clock running down, Jordan Thompson just ran out of patience and thought I might as well take the shot on.
Hasn't actually scored a goal for a couple of seasons, Jordan Thompson. A couple of years, January 2024, the last goal for Stoke against Birmingham City. A fair bit of time on the sidelines in between then and now, and Callum Lang will be hoping that this repair will be swift. Let's see the goals, shall we, in the moments that remain?
Yeah, both sides defensively poor for the goals. East Gibson, horrible defensive position, he's out-muscled by Hellick. It's a scuff, it's a precious opening goal for Oxford, and defensively the Oxford centre-halves just don't do their job against Osmajic. It's a wonderful ball in from Whiteman in between those centre-halves, but they've got to close the gap on Osmajic. Don't give him a free header like that.
Some brilliant angles of those goals, particularly that first goal as well, seeing it all unfold the way we have done at various points in this first half. Always interesting to see almost a sort of behind-the-scenes look of how a move unfolds like that. Lang back on his feet. Doesn't look 100%. And there is movement on the Preston bench here. Just wonder if this might be the end for Callum Lang. Daniel Jefferson is getting suited and booted.
I just wonder, does he get maybe trodden on here? He carries the ball forward. Maybe just Curry just accidentally stepped on his heel there. He seems to be holding his foot, that seems to be the problem.
At the end of the night for the club record signing. As you mentioned, has had a fair bit of success against Oxford in the past. On comes Daniel Jefferson, who scored in the reverse fixture.
As if the line's going to drift out onto that right-hand side, and Jefferson will look to partner Osmajic as much as he possibly can when Preston go forward.
Jamie Cumming being counted down by Andrew Kitchen with the ball in hand, releasing in time. Both sides want the ball, but it's Preston's.
It's fair to say it's not the first half we probably anticipated here. We thought it might be really tight and cagey, both sides really concerned about giving too much away, but it's been so open. Credit to the coaches for the teams that they picked and the way the players have gone at it. It's been hugely entertaining, not just the goals that we've had, it's been plenty more going on.
Brannigan away from Jefferson. Gibson across to deal with the threat.
For Oxford, Peter Harrison, Stanley Mills have just swapped flanks just to maybe give the fullbacks something else to think about.
Well, that's the end of quite a first half. Very open, at times frantic, at times chaotic. A half that's given us 2 goals and could have given us a fair few more as well. Messrs Helik and Osmajic finding the back of the net, while others had opportunities that were spurned. Plenty of potential for more fun and games in the second half here. At the break, Preston North End 1, Oxford United 1.
Welcome back to detail, everybody. Here we are in the Friday night fixture, which, of course, means all eyes on Preston North End and Oxford United in the English Championship, and the eyes of two of the greats in this club's history, Bill Shankly and Tom McPhinney, two of the biggest personalities and indeed heroes in the entire history of British football, who played a part once in the story of Preston North End. Proud Preston indeed. But is this to be a season to look back upon with any pride? Well, the next 45 minutes are going to have a say in all of that. 1-1 on a night when Preston North End, by the admission of their own boss this evening, Paul Heckingbottom, said a draw is of no use to us. It's all about the victory. If Preston were to get the victory, they rekindle their hopes of somehow scrambling into the playoff places. Equally important for Oxford, though. Starting tonight, second bottom of the Championship, but again, as last week against West Bromwich Albion, showing a lot of fight. They've dragged West Bromwich Albion into the argument with their victory over them last week, and they could and should have scored more than once in this game. No sign at all that they're giving up on their hopes of survival. They did it a little bit more comfortably than Preston last season, of course, when it came to it. Preston were involved right until the last day. Point here tonight for Preston will take them to 50 points. That is actually the mark they finished last season on, but again, from the point of view of Heckingbottom and the club here, not much benefit in that. Stanley Mills. Early touch in the second half for Daniel Jefferson, who came on just before half-time for the unfortunate Callum Lang. The pitch, as again mentioned by Heckingbottom before the kick-off tonight, is not the best, but certainly not the excuse that Preston can lean upon tonight. There's been a tremendous amount of rain in the first couple of months of the year in Lancashire and the north of England. Certain wear and tear on the pitch, but it's all relative. Here's Jefferson. He's moving across it all right. A very good race back against him. Spencer, who has come on here for Oxford at the break. Brody Spencer, that's a good start from him. Maybe to keep Jefferson quiet. Perhaps that's the thinking there. Out swinging corner, taken by Whiteman. Whiteman delivered a glorious ball for the equaliser for Preston, for Ismajic. Lifted in there nicely by Devine. So good intent at the start of the second half. He's not quite able to get the contact on the cross that he wanted, but that's a purposeful start from Preston. Just to confirm, Spencer for the starting left back tonight, Jack Curry for Oxford. Spencer back in the matchday squad after missing the last couple of games, the narrow defeat at Stoke and then the victory over West Bromwich Albion. But we've seen enough now tonight from this Oxford side to back up what they did, and maybe it's a sign that things were going to start to look a little bit brighter. In recent weeks, the trips to Coventry and to Middlesbrough, the top two in this league, both ended up 0-0 draws. Here, did enough. Good response again from Oxford though. Unable to get the other side of him, and then Mills. Donnelly to take it. Along the ground it goes. Brannigan. Mills again. Right-footed cross. Playing the percentages tonight, Oxford, but they know what they're about these days. Under the still relatively new coach, Matt Bloomfield. Playing to their strengths. Mills doesn't dally on it again, whips it in there. First half stats in terms of possession quite revealing, 71% or thereabouts for Preston. Oxford on 29, living off much less ball, and that's by no means a rarity. That's been the story of the season so far, actually. The lowest possession ratio in this division. But making a very good argument of it again here today. Nicely down the line by Story. Kept at arm's length this time. They've had their warning tonight, Oxford. Sam Long with the throw, and a long one it was. Michael O'Neill, the Northern Ireland coach, watching on tonight. Steve Davis alongside him. Blackburn Rovers coach, of course. Now, double chopping. To say the words Blackburn Rovers quite quietly in these parts. Nice and tidy over the ball was Devine. And Hennig conceded the free kick. Himself to take. Robin did his best to make something out of it, couldn't quite keep a hold of it. Spencer's looking to break free and run free, and from there Peart Harris took over, and he too was nearly free. Well, who wrecked it most quickly was Brannigan in the first place. Spencer. Nicely done again by Brannigan. Mills goes on the outside this time. Drills in the cross, and that could have gone absolutely anywhere off Gibson. Very nearly in a tangle. Again, Lewis Gibson. Ellick won the duel against him for the goal that Oxford got in the first half. And there's no way in the world, had that been maybe a foot inside rather than outside the post, that his goalkeeper could have reacted. Good response from Oxford. Dunley. Konek starting games back-to-back for the first time actually for Oxford. It goes in the way. They've grabbed the lead back. Mills has got it to Lancashire, and Lancashire's done the rest again for Oxford United. Cornell didn't see it until it was too late. It's my goal, he says. Nobody's going to argue with Oxford United's top scorer. He's done it again. Every chance they get, they sling it across and they fight for it. And whoever got the final touch, whether it was Mills or Lancashire, they can debate it all the way home if they've won the game. That looks to me like it is definitely Lancashire's goal. As big a part as Mills played in it. That tiny touch was the vital one. So Oxford United are really putting it up to Preston here at Deepdale tonight. And the impact made by Lancashire cannot be understated. Very nearly in double figures for the season. That's goal number 9 from Will Lancashire, and they are full of fight, this Oxford side. Mills and Lancashire almost linking up again. That's going to be a free kick from Preston. They dug themselves out of trouble once tonight, Preston. But even when they got on level terms, Oxford were creating chances and not taking them. Breathe again, Long cleared it. It was a testing cross in fairness, but Kieran Brown has had one or two nervy moments, let's put it like that tonight, and he is also on a yellow card, of course, the centre-back for Oxford. He could and should have made it too. He's one of the ones who missed a big chance first half. Centre-back reaction all around Deepdale from the Preston fans now. This was a night when it was all too clear that it was all about winning. They made a poor start but rectified matters. Now they've got to do it again. Mills. And the tiny toe from Lancashire. There. Looked good from an Oxford perspective. With or without the touch, but I think the touch was important. Konek not messing about. There's a kind of an edge to this Oxford United team. A little bit of spark, a little bit of bite about them, belying their lowly status. Preston must respond. They keep it simple, and as stated already tonight, they play to their strengths, this Oxford side. They'll be level with West Bromwich Albion, at least overnight, on 35 points with a victory. Albion, the side they dragged into the dogfight last week, and the way Oxford are playing tonight, they're showing a lot of appetite for the fight. West Bromwich Albion go to Sheffield United tomorrow. Who's tell the story from Preston's point of view. clearly lively down this right-hand side for Preston, but Callum Lang, the player who had to go off, has got a great habit of scoring against Oxford. In fact, he scored against Oxford more than any other club in his career, 6 times. But he can't help them out tonight. Peart Harris gets away again from Gibson, and the shot comes at a nice, comfortable height for Cornell. Even with that, he wasn't taking any chances. I'm afraid to say it's been a little bit indecisive tonight from Lewis Gibson. There's another one where he might have done better, but his goalkeeper helps him out. Cornell has been busy tonight. Cornell chose the third choice goalkeeper of this season for Preston at the start. Daniel Everson got injured. Got to be another corner. Everson, the regular starter in goal for Preston, injured, and Jack Walton got his chance. Didn't really recover from the game against Middlesbrough when they were beaten 4-0. Now tonight, Cornell extending his run into 7 straight starts in goal. As I recall, one of the 4 changes to the starting lineup by Hickenbottom at the start. As he told us, the idea to give a bit of spark in the attacking sense, but they're having to defend. On the hour mark. Peart Harris. Great flick on. Turned into the net for a third Oxford goal. And this time, Kieran Brown has got it all right. He missed a great chance to make it 2, but 3 probably sounds even better for Oxford. And those are the Oxford fans who really believe that this is a side that's got enough in it to stay up. Long balls, crosses, long throws, expert set-piece delivery, great help on by Hellig, who got the first, and Brown reacted the best. Side struggling to score goals so far in 2026, Oxford United, but 3 tonight, and they can taste the 3 points. Preston have got a lot to put right in less than 30 minutes now. Vucevic has come on. As I did mention, not a very happy night for Lewis Gibson, I'm afraid. But some Preston fans might be looking for some fresh impetus up front, not in the shape of a defender, Vucevic. A bit late, perhaps, in the eyes of some. Still clear. Jefferson hesitated and then went again. Moyes made for the middle of the penalty box. Peart. Preston have given themselves a lot to do. Did enough. Coming. anxiety everywhere. Here at detail tonight. Divine. Story went forward in support. Peart Harris on his mettle, defending on the right side now. Doesn't reach Vucevic this time. Peart Harris won a free kick quite cleverly there. In 10 so far for Matt Bloomfield, following his appointment on the 9th of January, succeeding Gary Rowett. Back-to-back wins, just carry that little bit more extra. Goes Preston's way. Either Hellick or Connor take a pick on who was actually responsible. Divine to set it up. Very good first header. Won by Story. Hughes was coming in to try to finish it off the way Oxford did at the other end, really, with their defenders winning the key touches. Not quite the same outcome. Full stretch, and happily for him and for Preston it did stick. Leaving off much less possession tonight, Oxford, but when they have the opportunity they're direct and they look like they believe they can score goals, and I think that's the most significant change tonight. 8 in 13 in 2026 before this. Higginbotham has a point to make to Adam Kirchig, the fourth official. One of the reasons, of course, that we saw that sort of shot of Michael O'Neill was that in his capacity as the Blackburn boss, he's running the rule over Oxford, who they play next. Donnelly here tonight. Reason to be here, and how well he's done. No panic from Oxford. Dobbin had a couple of very bright moments first half, but they really need him to show up now. Return by Hellick. in the end. So actually looking for a free kick, and the referee, Andrew Kitchen, agrees with him. Believe they can do more damage going forward, because Prelec is being told by Oxford to get ready. Nicky Prelec. Very nice touch that by Mills, and again looking like he can do damage. Brannigan. A couple of great servants in this Oxford side. Brannigan is one of them. Safety by Cornell. Nick Prelec, who's on loan from Cagliari in Italy. Well, Sardinia to be precise. Coming on for Lancashire. Lancashire in Lancashire does the damage. Again, Mills. And then Lancashire. Lancashire immediately looked and said, my goal. And nobody minds very much. Lancashire may have won it tonight in Lancashire, we shall see. But he certainly played his part again. Very interesting also, one of 3 Tottenham Hotspur youngsters here at the moment in this game. Donnelly, Lancashire, joined by Alfie Devine in the Preston colours. Of the 2 Oxford youngsters at the moment, swapping one relegation fight for another. Maybe it'll be a more happy outcome. Well played coming. Skips past one. Dobbin. Could he provide a spark now for Preston? Seems like such an important moment in their season in this game tonight. Thompson, not a bad looking ball. Well defended by Long. Just a bit untidy for a moment from Oxford. Afia. Dobbin. Konak stayed cool, calm and collected, did well. And what a pairing that suddenly looks in the middle of the park for Oxford for these vital games ahead. Konak and Brannigan. Brannigan with all the experience. Brannigan and Sam Long. Over 300 games individually, each of them. Andy Hughes, who's the Preston veteran, of course. Dobbin did his best in the air, but didn't look really likely to win that, I must say. Story. Taken by Devine. Forced his way through eventually. That was a little bit more polished, but not the shot that followed. other Oxford players to recharge the batteries a little bit. Brannigan needs a bit of ice on the knee. Need him on the field still, if at all possible. But there are reinforcements on the way again. Among them, potentially, Jamie McDonnell. He's only just back from injury himself, of course. Told to put on a tracksuit top for the moment. Couldn't get to that one, I feel. Dobbin. Oh, he's nearly on his way there, but against an outstanding challenge. Really sharp recovery after that by Spencer. Difficult sometimes to come into a game like this, but Spencer's just got on with it in exemplary fashion, and he gets a high five and a pat on the back from Donnelly for all that. Again. Going to take something special from here from Preston, I think. Or potentially a mistake, and we haven't seen a mistake defensively really for some time from the visitors tonight. 15 minutes of the 90 to play. Make that 14. Hughes. In it came from Whiteman. Brown on the stretch. Got it out of harm's way for the moment. Devine's there to take it already. Dobbin. Hillick. Not hanging about. Whiteman back to Cornelli. Watch that very carefully indeed, as it bobbled in his direction. There's Connacht. Needs a bit of help. Quickly on the scene. This season for Oxford United have come from set pieces. It's certainly something that serves them very well. That was the two centre-backs combining for the third goal. going tonight from Stanley Mills. Christ Makoso comes on for him. Who was down in a bit of trouble just a moment ago, now also makes way for Hawks. Can play a variety of roles, but by trade is a defender also. And there's a lot of those yellow shirts in that penalty box right now. Fear. Nice firm head on that one. Not quite clear this time, but sharp stop by Cumming. Brown got a bit lucky, he didn't clear his lines there. They've still got a bit more to do, Oxford. Now they can breathe again. They have defended generally so well that Cummings not had to do a lot of this kind of thing, but Brown really didn't clear his lines very well there. Divine, surrounded by yellow and blue, dark blue, navy blue really, Oxford blue. That's it tonight for Jordan Thompson. Jerry Small in the matchday squad for Preston and back on the field now. He's missed the last appearance in the away game against Blackburn. Of course, Blackburn have done the double over Preston. That stings in these parts. Better than the touch in the box, I guess, and he did find a willing recipient in Spencer. Referee thought about it, and it's now going to be a free kick for Oxford, which suits the away side perfectly at this stage. Saw one for Peart Harris. Finest, but it will soon be a very fine result indeed for him as an Oxford veteran and all his younger teammates, if they can keep on going in this manner. Got it right. didn't win that. Small gets to it. Lovely cross. Costa stayed cool. Majic won the little contest with Helik. With his running power, Small has certainly got the potential to add another dimension to this, but they'll have to pretty late to bring him on. That should be a goalkeeper's ball, and that's an outstanding bit of work by Cumming. Whiteman crosses. Great cross he produced for Preston's goal. And they need that kind of quality now. Cornell. Dobbin underneath it, but he couldn't get off the ground. He won't get that one either. Prodded back in his direction by Story. Well, it's just kept it simple. Donley. Well won, but what next for Preston? How well can they use it? Majic raced to get on the end of it. Counted anyway. Last touch off Prelic. So that's it tonight for Jamie Donley. But he's played his part for Oxford once more. And what a shrewd piece of transfer business in January that looks at the moment for Oxford. In on the left to start with, can do a job going forward, certainly. Got a couple of goals this season, got 6 in the Championship last season, and was of course very prolific indeed when they emerged from League One. He got 15 in that season for Oxford. Harris. For Jefferson. Doesn't really have the impact on proceedings that I'm sure Preston hoped. Dobbin. Changed his mind really. Get another go at it here, Preston. Small onto his left peg before he crosses. Now the decision here is goal kick. Pierre Harris has played his part again. Well, they've all played their part tonight for Oxford United. Mills certainly one of them. Just a sense that this is suddenly a squad bristling with belief and confidence in each other, really sticking together. Mills tonight created 4 chances and was very nearly indeed on the score sheet. Sort of defending these crosses fairly competently. Jovic goes back, gets it back, and then it goes out of play, back where they started. And that sees us through 90 minutes. Too many empty seats at the start of the night for Preston's liking. He didn't hide at the start of this tonight, Paul Heckingbottom. Draws mean nothing is what he said. It was all about winning, and they're losing it. Draw wouldn't be much use at the moment, really. Here's Paul trying to make his case to the assistant. One can see his point of view, but it's a mere detail overall. Preston free kick, and not a second to lose, even though there are a minimum of 6 minutes to play. Latest possession stats in this game, Oxford now through the 30% mark, 32% to be precise. Matters not. Well read again by Cumming. Osmage frustrated again. Oxford fans are making themselves heard. Small gave it to Osmage. He made for the penalty box. Henrik did really well with that. My goodness me, it means a lot now for Preston North End, but they're going to need something really special. Even to rescue 1 point. Small. Bouncing a bottling all the way through. All by Makoso. Divine. Story. Helic there again. Hughes this time. Story once more. The story is Oxford United reckon they can defend these all night long, these crosses, and nick it back time and again and maybe go the other way, and they were about to do exactly that. Harris earns a free kick. Very nearly was on his way against Story. Story takes the yellow. And Harris in that little moment showed he can play in other roles, not just down the left side. Scumpering off out to the left again here. Mitrovic. Twice over. Small. Not a lot has got past Brodie Spencer second half, I must say. Small tries again. Gets a cross away this time. Long did really well. Not far clear, however. Whiteman picks it up. Dobbin cannot squeeze his way through. Peart Harris looked a bit weary in the moment there, but there's not many seconds left of this game, still less minutes. That's a better little touch. And they were almost on their way. Nice little flick inside by Gevison to Osmaic, but Brown was on duty. So heads is clear and they've won it. Devine takes it. They do head it clear. And that will complete the task surely from Long. It does it from Matt Bloomfield and Oxford United as they win back-to-back games. What a terrible blow this is for Preston North End, and no hiding it, but no disguising the spirit and belief in this Oxford United side. They draw level with West Bromwich Albion, the team they beat last week, and they look absolutely full of belief that they can survive in the Championship. Preston knew this was all about winning to really spark hopes of a late season surge up toward the playoffs for Paul Heckingbottom and his team, and it's all gone horribly wrong from their point of view tonight, I'm afraid. They levelled after Oxford started brightly, but Oxford really set about them in the second half. A deserved victory. Lancashire gets the credit in Lancashire for the decisive goal, but what a team effort. Preston North End 1, Oxford United 3. story of this one tonight at Deepdale, with Oxford United going in front in the early stages. Ellick took it on his chest, the free kick from Brannigan, got the better of Lewis Gibson, and managed to steer it over the line. It wasn't a classic finish, but it was a great start to the game from Oxford United's point of view, serving notice after their victory over West Bromwich Albion that they really intend to fight to stay in this division, starting in the bottom three tonight. But 1-0 up here on a night when it was all about winning from Preston North End's point of view in the other half of the table. So Preston had to regroup. Back on level terms here, glorious cross whipped in by Ben Whiteman. And one of the four changes tonight. Militant Osmajic in between the two Oxford centre-backs to power home the header. Excellent response from Preston, but they needed more. Instead, one or two defensive dithers continued. They looked to have mopped it up there. Cornell, the goalkeeper, to Dobbin. He went with a very risky pass. Eventually, Oxford picked the pocket of Preston. Lovely little reverse pass by Donnelly into Lancashire, the top scorer. If he has it again, I think he would agree. He just tries to finish this the first time. The touch wasn't really good, and a very good recovery by Cornell. But undeterred, Oxford came out full of good intentions in the second period. Edge of the box, it was struck goalward by Stanley Mills, who was outstanding tonight, but Lancashire ran away and claimed it. A tiny touch on its way toward the goal. Not sure if Mills' shot was going in. We'll never know, because Lancashire about there getting the all-important touch, and there's nothing Cornell could do about it in goal. So Oxford in front and playing with real tenacity and determination to go on and win it. Very good on the counter-attack. Set piece is excellent. Harris was very good on both flanks. Cornell kept him at bay that time, but they did look the more dangerous side for a lot of tonight, leaving off a lot less possession. And corners or long throws, you take your pick. They're dangerous on both. Hooked on by Ellick, turned in by Kieran Brown, who of course missed a great chance to make it 2-0 early on. A sweet end to the night from his point of view, to hook in the third goal, and that was surely going to give Preston too much to do. If anything, late on, Oxford still were doing more of the pressing. It's Brannigan had the shot, Cornell was at full stretch. And every time they went forward, they played like a team who believed that they could score a goal. It took Preston way too long to threaten late on. Small came on down the right in the last 10 minutes or so, putting one or two good crosses. Got a slice of luck there, did Brown. And a good reaction saved by Cummings. In all honesty, very difficult to think of all that many saves that Cummings had to make in this game tonight. Put forward, but not enough. And the story of the night really is one of frustration for Preston. Not a night for this club to be proud of, and I'm afraid from here it looks very difficult to make a case in terms of their promotion credentials. Stuck in 12th spot, and it might get worse over the rest of the weekend on 49 points. That's quite a gap now with only 12 games to play. Wrexham is the immediate target on 57. Wrexham on FA Cup duty, of course, this weekend. But Preston now truly have it all to do. And from Oxford United's point of view, at least overnight, they are out of the bottom three. Level now with West Bromwich Albion. And what a different scenario than only, 10 days ago. They picked up 6 points, 3 of them at the expense of the Albion. And Oxford have Blackburn in their sights next, of course. So they've served warning, Oxford. If they can keep it up, keep the belief strong, and keep everybody fit. The best of this season maybe to come from them. Back-to-back wins as we sign off here at Digdale for Oxford United, right back in the fight to stay in the Championship. Thank you everybody for watching, and good night.